morning, everybody. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading from Monday, August 26th, 2024. I've already shuffled the cards and I'll just be cutting to get started. I hope everyone had a good weekend. If you like my readings and you want to be notified, our cards are falling already. Two of Pentacles. If you'd like to be notified when I upload a video, please like, subscribe, comment, ring the notification bell. You know, the deal, the usual. All right, I'm going to recut these. There's something going on with these cards today. Let's do a quick little shuffle. Okay. There's definitely some feelings of having something slip through. I've had the thought something slipping through my hands kind of moment this morning. And I've also had this issue with my computer going to sleep while I'm working. So those are some interesting energetic experiences. Don't know how much they have to do with the energy of today, but let's see. Okay. Seven of Wands, the Lovers, and then the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So the Seven of Wands is a card of valiance. It's a card of fighting your cause. It's a card of fighting for your own space too. So it's sort of like standing up in the face of adversity kind of thing. The Lovers can be a choice point. It can be a partnership. And then the Queen of Pentacles is that sort of generous, nurturing quality. Physically centered, Taurus energy. You know, she has a little ram right on her brooch there. So right off the bat, I feel like there could be arguments about or choices having to do with being right or being loved. Okay, the Sun, the Moon, and then the Two of Swords. Again, that choice is being reflected here. So these first six cards definitely ring of having to make a choice between what is true or what you feel. So I know that these seem to oppose sometimes, but with the Sun, it's the illumination of the truth. And the Moon can often have moments of what's the word I'm looking for? Illusion. So it definitely brings up this sort of like choice point between, do I fight for what I think is true, or do I fight for what I'm seeing in my environment, for the truth that I'm actually witnessing? The Queen of Pentacles tells me that there's this sort of rebalancing there. So in an effort to feel the stability that you're building, in an effort to feel some sense of ability to give and receive, there's this choice between, do I follow what I'm seeing or do I follow what I'm feeling? Or a choice between the truth and an illusion, or the choice between a fact and your intuition. So that's the three ways I see this potentially showing up. The Two of Swords tells me that this information, what gets revealed between during this choice between these two states, is what informs how you move forward. So that Two of Swords tells me there's a third option. There's something else potentially available to you when you sort of, if you can combine or integrate these two things into one picture. Queen of Swords. There's some very direct energy there. And then the Emperor. So on an energetic level, this is directionality and making a choice that actually changes everything for you or for us. So this is a very decided moment of, that was before and this is now and continuing forward, because you have to decide whether or not you're going to stay in delusion, I guess, is the way it's coming through with that Moon and the Lovers. There's the potential of a sort of delusional quality here of, I've created something in my head, and do I stick with that or do I stick with what I see in my environment kind of thing. The Queen of Swords tells me it's time for us to transition out of our imaginations and into reality And I mean reality in quotes, reality as in each of us individually admitting to what we're experiencing versus what we wish we were experiencing. But that Emperor brings a nice balance of wisdom and experience. So, and then the High Priestess. This is an interesting reading. And I can't explain why it feels so complex to me, but let me see if I can try to explain what I'm seeing. There's a multi-layered experience here. There's the experience of the reality that we're all living. There's the experience of the intuitive thing that we all know is real, that we are not seeing in our reality. And then there is this hybrid experience of manifestation that we're all individually working on and collectively creating together. That Queen of Pentacles is that manifestational quality, that nurturing something into existence, okay? But the High Priestess and the Emperor tell me that there is something deeper and almost more arcane going on here. There's something very mystical about this, because it seems like there's a discrepancy between the reality and the intuition, or the obvious and the hidden, when it doesn't feel like that discrepancy is based on anything true. Which is why it's interesting to me, because with the Two of Swords, it's almost like the imaginary choice between two things that are the same, or the imaginary choice that, when we have a third option we're not aware of. There's a stress point here, but it's almost like the stress point is unnecessary. Let's see if I can figure out how to get through. If I ask, all right, let's see that. How do we get through this energy to the truth of what we're creating? Just a little shuffle. How do we get through this to the truth of what we're creating? Okay. So any confusion that you're experiencing is born out of this almost illusory difference between what you feel in your gut and what you see in your experience. Five of Pentacles. The question was, just to reiterate, how do we get through that energy? Yep, that's just one card. All right. Be aware of your wounds. Come on, stop sliding. All right, so the way through is to be aware of your shadow material, to do the work, to know that everything's reciprocal. So what you put in is what you get out. And to seek your emotional fulfillment and expression. The cycle ends when mutuality begins. That's the interesting part about this. If this has to do with relationships, I'm sure that partially this does, but on a bigger level, it feels like it has to do with society, or how we interrelate with each other on a much larger scale. So that's what I'm seeing here, is that there's this large cycle of reciprocity that has been broken for a really long time. And there are people out there, I would say I'm among them, that feel that there was a cycle or process happening underneath that reality that will lead us to a much more connected place, societally, interrelationally, and within our own internal worlds. And that the way to get there would be to process your past, process your wounding, or your childhood trauma, basically, your generational trauma, to do the work to find your fulfillment, or to find the way you can offer yourself from a real, honest place. This Wheel of Fortune tells me the cycle's ending. Like, there's no more reliance on our wounding, or at least soon there will be no more ability to rely on our wounding to define our identities, which is interesting as a theme, but that's a whole other reading almost. So I want to say that the theme of that is present, if that applies for you. On a collective scale, this could be about facing a wounded place within us and doing the work to actually get each other through it, or get each other out of it, to the place where we're able to make moves towards our emotional fulfillment, actual decided, action with this King of Wands. there seems to be a transition happening, like there has been for a couple of weeks, but this one seems to be much more of abrupt change. The King of Swords again, and then the Ace of Pentacles. There's a new physical reality occurring this week. This week might bring in some offers. It might bring in some big changes, sweeping changes to your physical space or your workspace, things like that. So there's big changes afoot, but they're real changes. They're reality-based changes, and they might come into conflict with our internal sense of intuition. So you might see some discrepancies, but they will work through. So I guess that's the message that I'm here to bring you for today. Anything that seems like it's out of place will get worked through. Keep working on resolving what's yours and offer help when you can and take help when it's offered if you need it. And we will see some change happen this week that's very physical. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. And, take everything one step at a time. All right. Bye.